Got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Sports, the infinite frontier. These are the rants, opinions, and discussions of the one and the only Sports Nerds. Their mission, to talk about the major headlines in sports news, drink beer, curse loudly, and heavily criticize their favorite teams. To boldly rant where no man has ranted before. And now, here are your nerds. Philip Ford.
Oh no! We suck again!
Lex Andrews. And Bob.
You are a factory of sadness!
You can cut it off for him.
I've been trying to cut it off, but my fingers been slightly missing the pause. I was like, I'll get to it eventually. As long as the audio keeps going, we're good. So, as you all can see,
we're
welcome to
good.
Sports Nerds 22. Or am I 23? I think it's
22.
22. Yeah,
Alright.
we just hit legal drinking age. Now we've got our legs under us and we can go full tilt.
That's right.
22.
Actually, speaking of that, I'm sorry, gentlemen. I had to run and grab a beer. I should have done that before.
What?
You guys want anything?
I'm good. I got my OJ and vodka right here. I'm good.
All right, cool. I'll be right back.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say I got some random liquor that I bought called Tuwaka.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I tried that out with straight up is not very good. I tried it with a little bit of lemon juice, and that's actually really good.
Yeah, it's a liqueur. It's pretty it's a mix and drink, that's for sure. You can even mix it like with a little bit of cream, a little bit of half and half, something like that. Make a little cream drink with it. It's pretty good.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, it's tasty.
Yeah, it was funny because I ran across this. I was like, I've been wanting to try different kind of liqueurs, and I was like, let me try that.
It's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I had learned the hard way the first time. I was like, it says chilled. It should be delicious. Let me pour some straight. No.
Nope. Wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe throw it in some coffee too or something. That'd be good.
Oh, I never tried that. That would be good. Yeah, I've tried. I did Jaeger, but I was also much younger when I did Jaeger straight. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've had Jaeger since like high school.
I can't quite claim that, but I didn't really find out. I didn't discover Jaeger until after college. Honestly, it was beer up until then.
Yeah, it used to be a German cough syrup, and then it was just too strong. They're
That's
just
impressive.
like, we can't give this to children.
This tastes too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I turned what was supposed to be was that supposed to be Red Bull and Jaeger? Is that Jaeger bomb? I turned a Jaeger bomb into a cocktail. Woo, that is a good way to start a night. If you want to get blitzed.
Yeah, that's a little dicey.
Oh yeah, I can't really do tequila. I don't know if you're a tequila kind of person.
I am and I'm not. If it's good tequila, I'll sip it. If it's bad tequila, I gotta shoot it down.
Are you guys talking baseball yet?
No.
No, we're waiting until you come back.
Why the fuck not? Start talking baseball, for the love of God.
All right, we'll get it out of the way here.
Yeah.
Well, so last night the playoff picture got a little clearer. We have the New York Yankees have clinched the first wild card spot in the AL in the American League, and we're just waiting on to see here in the next couple of games who's going to take that second wild card spot. You got three teams in it. You have the Astros, the Angels, and the Twins. In my honest opinion, if it's the Astros or the Twins, I don't think they have a snowball's chance in hell playing against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. I think the only team that could beat the Yankees out of those three is the Angels. They just got too much star power, especially Fish, Mike Trout. The guy's just an unbelievable talent. He's, 5-tool player. He's got everything. He's the face of the baseball right now. So I think if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be them.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement with you there, Mike. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see who they're playing. I know Houston's playing the Diamondbacks, so they have to kind of slip up since they actually have that spot. But I agree with you. Like, I wasn't even caring. I was like, well, it's the Yankees versus one of three teams. Most likely the Yankees will win it and then move on to play the Blue Jays, which would definitely be an interesting series considering how the season's played out. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Kind of see. I can't believe it's. I guess occasionally it does go down this far, the last 3 games of the season, but not usually.
Yeah, and I feel like that the American League is just going to be the American League playoff series this year are going to be a little bit boring.
Just the American League playoff series?
Yeah, they're going to be boring.
Not like the whole.
Just in my opinion. I mean, the Royals are a good story as always, but I don't think they can really do too much damage. The Blue Jays got a pretty solid team, but I just think the National League just has so many good teams in there. I mean, you got 3 teams from one division, for God's sakes, in there, and they got so many stars. I mean, you got the Cardinals. All their stars are actually kind of banged up right now, but you got the Pirates with McCutchen. You got the Dodgers with all their stars. I just think the National League is just going to be a lot more exciting. And you got the Mets. The Mets are a huge story this year. Usually they're a laughing stock, but this year though they've just been on fire. Ever since they made that Cespedes trade, their offense has just been through the roof. It's going to be exciting. And then you got the Cubs too.
Yep.
The lovable Cubs. I actually could give 2 shits about the Cubs, honestly, but for national talk hosts and all that shit, they're all in for the Cubs. Everyone wants to see the lovable underdog go far. So I think the National League's got a lot more storylines, a lot better teams. So that's more or less the that league that I'm going to be paying more attention to, the American League.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think, just in the National League, you have more storylines, right? The Mets, can they actually do something? You've got the Dodgers in L.A. that's got that big, they've got the big market to attract people. And then you've got, of course, Chicago, which is, again, they haven't won since, God, I don't even know, longer. Well, I think it was longer than the Red Sox at the point that the Red Sox finally won it. But now they've got the record for sure.
And then, it's over 100 years.
Yeah. And then you've got Pittsburgh, which is an interesting up-and-coming team to kind of see if they can do anything. But yeah, I agree with you. The AL, it could end up being familiar. It could end up being the Rangers. Yeah, it could be the Rangers versus the Yankees for the AL Finals, which wouldn't be that surprising.
You mean the Royals?
The Royals? No. I could see the Texas Rangers.
Oh, no, the Rangers aren't in it.
They aren't. Then why do I have?
Oh wait. Who won? Did the Rangers win?
Yeah.
West.
Because otherwise it would have been Houston.
That's my bad. Sorry.
It's all good. I just had to make sure. I was about to say the Texans, and I was like, no, that's football. That would be right down Max's alley.
It's very easy to get confused as they play so many games. It's hard to keep track of who's playing when and where, and how many games they lost, how many games they won. Because after I'm gonna say the 3rd game in a series, no one really even cares anymore. They're just trying to get out of there.
This is for you, buddy. That's for you. Hating on baseball. Do yourself a favor and eat a hot dog.
I don't know if we're going to make that happen, Mike. We got to try at some point.
You can't make me.
Oh, my.
We'll see about that.
But, yeah, I think that's it for now, because once they finalize it, it'll be kind of interesting to kind of who we think is going to win and kind of what happens. But, yeah. And just for you, Max, St. Louis has won 100 games, and they still have 3 games left.
Yeah. So shut up.
That's awesome. Max has got a comment. Go.
No, I got nothing bad to say about the great city of St. Louis.
Thank God.
Oh my! All right. So I think we've covered baseball, getting that ready.
Woo!
So,
we made it. We did it, fellas. Made it through another one. Congratulations.
Made it through. Max is still alive.
yeah. Yeah, you've only got about 4 weeks, maybe 5, depending on if it runs a little long. You'll be all right, Max.
This is actually where I do start watching baseball, so that's good. I just like giving baseball shit.
I gotcha. But so I figure we'll hop on. So where do you want to go? You want to go NFL or NCAA football?
Let's start with the NFL.
All right. So what's going to be interesting is we got to talk about the latest news. So Pittsburgh, without Roethlisberger, thought they could just plug in Vic and continue to win. Did not look that way at all, as Baltimore came back in overtime. But I don't know necessarily if Pittsburgh's offense is to blame or if it's a little bit, well, it's heavily the defense because they allowed Forsett, I think, 100 yards?
150.
130. Oh, yeah, 150, yeah.
150, holy shit.
Yeah,
I
and I put
missed
him on
that.
my bench this week, too, in fantasy. I couldn't believe it.
Okay, the first time he actually produces in a game, like this is what, the third game or the fourth game of the season? And
That was the fourth.
Fourth.
fourth game, no touchdowns. I'm not too happy with him as far as fantasy is concerned.
Yeah, you can't be blamed for saying that. So, what are your all's thoughts on Pittsburgh?
Well, it was. I watched the whole game last night, and Vic did okay. It was just that when they put the game in his hands, he had to put the team on his shoulders and make some plays. He couldn't do it. I blame some of that on Vic, but I also blame it on their offensive scheming too, because they had him in the pocket a lot. They went for it on a couple of times on fourth down, and he just kept throwing these ducks when he could have easily just they get him on a bootleg or a rollout where he's running outside the pocket and he can either throw it or he can run it, and they didn't give him that option. So I think they're both to blame. Vic couldn't make the throws when he needed to, but at the same time, though, I don't think the offensive coordinator helped them out too much. Also, in regulation time, Pittsburgh missed 2 field goals within the last 2.5 minutes, I want to say, to put the game away.
They did.
And
You got one tap kicker.
yeah, it was. Pittsburgh gift wrapped this game to the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens didn't really do much throughout this game. They went right down the field and scored in the beginning, but then Pittsburgh's defense really held them the whole game. They knocked out Steve Smith, who I love. Steve Smith, I think he's awesome, and but they knocked him out of the game, so they didn't really have any receiving options. So they just ran the ball, and just kind of they threw it to another guy named Aiken, who's an up-and-coming good wide receiver. But it's Baltimore had no business winning this game. Pittsburgh gift wrapped it for them.
Max?
It seems to me like they were still trying to use the Big Ben game plan with a Mike Vick quarterback, and it wasn't exactly flowing. They couldn't, really get on the same page, and then 2 missed kicks. Like, come on, kicker,
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with that biz, but it's just like that's unacceptable, pretty much. I mean, like how far were those kicks? They weren't even
40-some.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like in the high 40s.
Yeah, not the easiest kicks, but also, I mean, it's not like a 60-yard. This isn't a record-setting kick here. It's not, impossible. So I feel like it wasn't just. It was just a failure on all points. And defense let them down. Freaking special teams let them down, and the offense couldn't produce enough points to cover. And it's rough throwing the new quarterback in there, and then Michael Vick's also ancient. So there's there's all that to worry about. But I mean, I feel like they weren't ready. I feel like they just weren't ready.
No.
It seems like they're still shocked and reeling from the loss of Big Ben.
Yeah, and it was weird because Scobie had the leg. It was just that his accuracy was just off, and you could see at overtime they had a chance to kick a 50-yard field goal to win the game, and instead they decided to go for it on 4th down. Couldn't do it. It was 4th and 1, by the way, and they threw an out route pass to the sidelines to Antonio Brown, and Vic just flat out missed him. When they have the best running back in the league, Le'Veon Bell, who's on all of my fantasy teams, man, and he was tearing it up all night. And I'm really shocked that they not just give him the ball fucking 50 times, man. The guy is a beast. He's a monster. He can do it all. As much as I hate Pittsburgh, I love Le'Veon Bell. He's also a Central Ohio guy, Max. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Not aware.
But yeah, Tressel didn't recruit him though, dumbass. But the guy's a monster, and I'm actually shocked that they didn't. I mean, they featured him, but I thought they should have featured him more.
Well, and this is also what lost Seattle the Super Bowl. Like, why, if if it's the and one situation, and you have this great running back powerhouse, like, why aren't you running the ball? And that's just bad play calling. Because why wouldn't you run the ball? It's 1 yard. If your quarterback can't get you, if your running back can't get you 1 yard, then what's he doing playing in the NFL?
Agreed.
Yeah,
QB sneak and fall forward for a yard. Like, it's not even. You don't have to do much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting to put in, but you all finally got to it, because that was the thing that I felt interesting. Like, it was okay, and I think Pittsburgh can recover without Roethlisberger for at least a couple weeks and do okay. But what was interesting is, again, he was out on Sunday. They're playing a Thursday night game. Why would you even try to put Vic in those situations? I mean, he is a backup. He's not the starter. He may or may not know the entire – he should know the entire offense, but he may not necessarily be able to do everything you want him to do. And without having plays for him outside of the pocket, because that's where Vic's at his best, why would you not give it to Le'Veon Bell in that situation? And more, like you said, Mike. It's going to be interesting going forward. I think they're going to learn a lot from this game. I think they're going to adapt the offense somewhat. And then I think they're going to probably realize, wait, we should probably feature our star running back.
Yeah. And what the kicker is at all this, pun intended, but the big kicker at all this is that Baltimore was 0-3. The Pittsburgh Steelers had the opportunity to bury the Ravens early here in the season and basically take them out of any potential playoff talks, division talks, whatever. And now they left the door open now for them because they play Cleveland, and then they play the 49ers. The Ravens have an opportunity to get back to 500 here pretty quick. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh's now at 500, and their schedule is going to get a little bit more difficult. And they just had a golden opportunity to bury one of the teams in the AFC North that couldn't do it.
I wouldn't write off the Browns so quickly, though, because this is a game that they like to win. They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to have any business in it, yada, yada, pushovers, and then all of a sudden the Browns pop you in the mouth just to fuck everyone else up.
Well, they play San Diego on Sunday, and I think Philip Rivers is just going to torch our defense.
They're definitely
Melvin Gordon, too. What?
They're definitely going to lose to San Diego. I'm just talking about when they play the Ravens, and the Ravens are like, they're the Browns, that's a good win to take, yada, 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 stepping stone, and then the Browns are just like, no, punch in the mouth.
Yeah, we'll see.
That'll be
the best record against Baltimore
if they win this season.
Yeah. We'll see.
So on that note, we got to go over to the AFC South. Who wants to win it? Everyone's 1-2. Everyone thought Indianapolis was going to do it, but it looks like Luck's injured. I mean, I honestly think they could trip and fall into winning the division with Luck injured, but I don't know, because I don't think anyone else is talented enough in that division to really try and win it. That's how sad this is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I could easily see the Colts going 9-7, possibly even 8-8, 500, and getting that and winning the division and hosting a playoff game, for God's sakes. It's crazy. But I mean, like the Dolphins, they're still waiting on Tannehill to take that next step. He really hasn't. I'm not big on the Dolphins' offense, really. I mean, Lamar Miller, in my opinion, sucks. Their defense is good. And then you got Jacksonville, they're not ready for prime time yet. They got a lot of young talent. They're just not ready to really be a contender yet. And then you got the Texans, which their defense is great, but their quarterback play sucks. And I mean, you're not going to go anywhere in the NFL unless you have a good quarterback. And so, I mean, odds tell you, history tells you got to go with the team that's got the good quarterback. So I think the Colts are going to take that division. But it's just going to be ugly because the Colts' defense sucks. Their O-line sucks. I mean, outside their quarterback, their running backs, and their wide receivers, their whole team sucks.
You got Ty. Ty's pretty good, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like the receivers are good, and the quarterback's good, and they got Frank Gore. But I mean, other than that, I mean, their O-line blows, their defense, their entire defense blows. I believe they're on their like third and fourth string corners. Yep. I mean, they're going to give up a lot of points, so they're going to be throwing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Mike. Like, I mean, unless Jacksonville's quarterback suddenly becomes, Blake Bortles becomes something, or Tennessee Mariota can be a revelation. But again,
forgot about Tennessee, and I mentioned the Dolphins. They're not even in the South; they're in the East. I'm an idiot.
I got you. I got you covered, man.
Thanks,
Max?
buddy.
No, I think that whenever you are in the same division as Jacksonville and you have to still worry about Jacksonville, you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. Yeah, this is the fact. I think I'd say the Colts is obviously the biggest shock. Like the train wreck that's going on over there, and then Luck gets injured. So I mean, this is just not looking good for them. I don't see. It's kind of hard to see that light at the end of the tunnel that they're going through right now. I would love it. I would just absolutely love it if Jacksonville caught on fire and started winning games right now. I just think that would be the best thing ever, just for comedy's sake. But yeah, like they don't have a whole bunch of star power. The Texans got great defense, but again, they don't have a lot of star power to put points up. The Titans.
Average.
It's like this is weird. Again, you guys are saying you could be 8-8 and take the division. I mean, that's kind of like what the Broncos feel like every season. But it's odd coming from this, especially with the Colts in that division. Like you don't expect this at all.
Yeah. What interesting, I think, I just popped in my head. I was thinking about this, just how bad the AFC South is. It almost kind of reminds me of last year's NFC South, where I believe the Panthers won the division 7-9-1 because they had a tie.
Yeah.
Ended up taking the division. I could see something eerily similar going on this year with the AFC South.
Yeah, I just don't see. It depends. If Luck is actually seriously hampered, then I think you're 100% correct. Because otherwise, I think with Luck they could go 500 and they win the division, which is so sad. But yeah, Max, I'm rooting for you. I would love to see Jacksonville get on fire because I really think they need a shake-up in Indy because they're hanging on to the coattails of Peyton Manning. They lucked into, pun intended here, luck, and they are wasting it. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, he should be progressing to the point. Like, he's progressed every year with a team that's mediocre at best. And he's trying to carry that team on his back, but he's saying, all right, I think his body's fine. Like, nope, we're done. We're moving on.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Luck, you notice him when he's in play. Like, he takes big hits, and he's like shaking the dude's hand afterwards and patting him on the back for the good hit, and that might be starting to take its toll on him.
I think depending on how this season goes, they're going to be cleaning house there in Indy as far as upper management goes because they already have. I mean, they have Moncrief, they have T.Y. Hilton, they got Andre Johnson in free agency, and then their first round pick this year was Philip Dorsett, a wide receiver. So that's four wide receivers. Playmaking wide receivers. When your defense blows, your offensive line blows, you could have used that first round pick on something more urgent, but it said, hey, let's get Andrew Luck another toy, even though his toy closet's already overflowing right now. And I could see the upper management going. There's Chuck Pagano, their coach, I guess, is on his last year on his contract, and he's butting heads with upper management. So I think it's just going to be it's kind of a toxic situation, possibly brewing in Indianapolis.
Do you think that the heads of the Colts thought they were in the fantasy draft at the time, and they're just like, no, it's okay, we'll just pick up the Texans defense later, and then they realized that they had to, play their own defense.
That would explain the 10th person in our fantasy league. I don't know who that is, so it might be that guy. So.
That's too funny. But yeah, and then two more. Well, one's not a surprise, but it might be a surprise to our panels here, right? The Bengals, 3-0. And then Oakland at 2-1. Oakland's the one that surprises me more. The Bengals I thought would be okay. And again, I'm going to reserve judgment until the playoffs. Oakland, what surprises me is Derek Carr actually has taken another step. And he's kind of like trying to join that next status. And I'm kind of curious to see how the next 3 or 4 games play out to see if is this an aberration, is this just an anomaly, or is this a statistical trend upward? Because, oh my God, that offense looks amazing.
Yeah, well, starting off with the Bengals, I mean, I knew they were going to be good, but I didn't think that Dalton was going to be this good this early. But then again, you got to reserve all judgment on the Bengals until come late November, December, and see where they're at. But as far as the Raiders go, I was at the Browns-Raiders game this past weekend. And I found this out and listened to Browns radio. That's all I listened to. And they were saying that Derek Carr is the number 1 quarterback in the league right now against the blitz. And and every time the Browns blitzed him on Sunday, he had a perfect. He was like 7 for 8 or some shit with a touchdown and 100 yards or something. Like he had a perfect quarterback rating. And I think the Raiders are ahead of schedule. They got some really nice building blocks with Latavius Murray running back, Derek Carr quarterback, Amari Cooper wide receiver, and then you got Khalil Mack leading that defense on the other side, and you got old man Woodson, you got old man Justin Tuck on that defense too. So you got some championship veterans there, to kind of motivate the rest of these young guys, and it's looking good. Everyone's talking about the Minnesota Vikings before the season as the up and coming team, but I think they got it wrong. I think it's the Raiders, and they look actually like a pretty good football team.
Absolutely, Max.
Fuck the Raiders.
That comes from a Broncos fan, everyone.
Yes.
No, I hate to admit it. They look pretty good. Yeah, man. I love seeing the Raiders downtrodden. I love seeing them, like walked all over and like they can't get nothing together, and then half of their fans stab the other half of their fans. That's the Raiders I like, and that's not the Raiders I'm getting. No, they're looking good. Their quarterback's showing promise. He's showing poise. And I think that's the main thing when you get a guy who's not afraid to, stare down that 400-pound dude coming straight at him at 35 miles an hour. Yeah, I don't want to say any more good things about the Raiders.
We can talk about the Bengals then.
Oh yeah, the Bengals. Boy Scout Andy Dalton looking good. Yeah, you kind of always expect him to like trip on his shoe or something, you figure Andy Dalton's gonna not like literally trip on his shoe, but there's always that little misstep with the and I don't know. I'm happy to see they're running all cylinders. They picked up AJ Hawk this year, so I'm sure that's the main thing that's bringing the whole team together. It's got a lot of Buckeyes on the team. They're all at home, and everything's gelling. No, the Bengals are looking good. I'm not too surprised. They do have a lot of good, they got a bunch of weapons on there, so they just play, they're playing in a rough division. They got the Steelers, Ravens, so they usually kind of, even if they are good, they usually kind of get swept underneath the big machine of the Steelers and the Ravens. But this year the Ravens are playing like junk. Fucking Steelers just lost. Apparently, they just lost all their mojo. So now's the time. If they're gonna do anything, now's the time to do it, and just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how that division works itself out, especially with Big Ben gone, and if the Ravens can't turn it around. Because if the Bengals get 6-0, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-3, that pretty much means I think they've got that division at that point.
I don't think the Steelers will go down 3-3 though.
Well, they're not going to have Big Ben, man. That's saying they go 1-1. They go 500 with Michael Vick. That's reasonable, man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they'll work out. I mean, like we got to see how they play next week. Just like this is the first week that they're trying to do anything without Roethlisberger, and obviously shit happened. But I feel like they can. Again, if the coordinator decides to run plays more suited to Vick's strong points, they can get this offense, I think, moving in the right direction and scoring points and some good stuff like that. It's just there's too much talent to not like. I don't see how that they couldn't turn this around. That just doesn't make any sense.
What's really going to decide the division is coming up in late October, November. All the teams, I believe there's either a 4 or 5 game streak where all the AFC North teams alternate playing each other. And so this is the time right now, early in the season, for these guys, to get in their wins, and then the bloodbath is really going to start come right into the meat of the season. So I think the division is still going to be up for grabs, but I think we'll know more in a couple months here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think in 3 games, because I think Big Ben's out for 4.
Yeah, they're saying or 4 to 6. But we'll see.
Okay. So if he is out 4, that means the Bengals get them without Big Ben, at which point they'd be 2-0 in the division.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals have got the brightest future as far as if you're looking at the status right now, if they keep playing like they've been playing, they're definitely looking the best. I would say the Steelers were the best right up until this fiasco. But they're definitely in the best shape as of right now, looking at the future.
Yeah, like we'll definitely be able to revisit this next week and kind of see how things change, because the NFL really is like a soap opera. Every week it's kind of a new story.
Yeah, you write one team off this week, and then the next week they win, and it's like a whole new season.
Yeah, and then the week after that, Andrew Luck's evil twin brother slept with his wife, and then
yeah, bearded Andrew Luck,
evil goateed Andrew Luck.
Well, have you seen those DirecTV commercials with one with Andrew Luck? He's got this gigantic beard.
Yeah, that was awesome. Oh my! All right, so on to NCAA football. So here's an interesting topic. I mean, you all are traditional Ohio State fans, so I kind of want to bring this one up because this goes to, well, not your favorite guy from Ohio State, and Maurice Clarett. But
I love Maurice Clarett. Love him.
But so early entry be allowed into the NFL because of basically what Fournette at LSU is going through. They're basically saying that he could go now, but of course the rules do not allow it. Max, you want to touch this one? You look excited over there.
I mean, it's just like, look, man, I get it. You're good. Wait a year. Like, all you got to do is wait 1 year. It's not going to kill you. It's for your own good. Just
it's actually 2 years, by the way.
I mean, like now they play 1 year. They're like, oh my god, he's so good, and then they want to get him in there, and all you got to do is wait 1 more year because, hey, just wait a year. Play football, have fun, be a kid, enjoy your life, and then go to work. Like, I'm sorry, but like the rules they're not crazy. They're not asking too much. They're not making you jump through too many hoops. They're just saying that, like, as far as your physical development, you need to wait this long, and that's that's just the rules. And I don't think there's any fighting it to let one player in right now. Like, if they want to fight it for later, for future players, that's one thing. But don't sit here and try to, like, sneak in and get in, with your lawyers or whatever, And you're gonna the same thing that happened to Claret's gonna happen to you. Everyone's gonna get your head real big instead of putting your nose down, putting up your stats, getting more points. You're just gonna, act a fool, get yourself on TV, piss off all the coaches and trainers beforehand, piss off all the people who don't think you deserve a point, you deserve a spot here, and what?
So Max, you're chewing the guy out, and it wasn't his idea. It's everybody else.
Like, why is anyone putting it on this kid? Like,
because the media's doing it, man. ESPN, they're trying to make something out of nothing. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, if you want to change the rules for later, go ahead. But there's no way you're gonna get somebody in right now. The rule's the rule. Period. Like, you're not gonna get in. Like, they've already shown there's no legal way you can do it.
Yeah. No, you're right, Max. And I agree with you, and I think the rule is fine, but I also see the argument coming from the players, especially like Maurice Clarett. If you ever watched the 30 for 30 Youngstown Boys, it's all about Clarett, and when they talked to him, he basically said, like, when you're a running back and you're a really good college running back, they give you the ball like 25, 30 times a game, and you get beat up so much. And by the time you get to the NFL, you don't have that longer of a shelf life that most other players do. So, your opportunity to make a lot of money in the NFL isn't as good. I mean, you have to be like an Adrian Peterson type like back to get a $100 million contract. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the big argument. Is that, by the time they get to the NFL, I'm not saying that they're completely beat up, but, they don't have as long as a shelf life in the league as other players do. You look at Melvin Gordon, he was the entire Wisconsin offense for 3 years. They gave him the ball 30 times a game. That's why he had like 300 yards every other game. And now you're seeing, like, why isn't Melvin Gordon, blowing up now in the NFL? It's like, well, the guy got friggin' 30, 40 touches a game in college every game. He's going up against Big Ten schools. He's playing in bowl games. He's getting beat up. And I think that's the big argument, which I can see that, the running backs don't have the opportunity like a quarterback or a wide receiver to make as much money.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, so I'm in agreement with the both of you. It's a difficult thing because I do think there are select athletes that could go pro early in the NFL, but the majority aren't ready. There are just small handfuls of people that are really able to. Like, AP could have went early if he had wanted to, but he didn't. The debate on Marcus Lattimore, really Marcus Lattimore is the biggest reason why this is also coming up, Max.
Yeah.
Because he blew out his knee 2 years in a row playing football, and I don't think Fournette has any interest in going pro, honestly. I think he actually is enjoying college right now. But it's an interesting debate and an interesting topic because what was it? Clarett, when he challenged us and went to the Supreme Court, the only reason why they didn't go against it was because they basically said the law of negotiation. They didn't want to go against that negotiation because even though the labor union negotiated shittily, or not shittily, they use different words, but basically so poorly for the players' behalf, we can't say that, we're going to overrule that because that's what they agreed to, but that was a poor decision for the labor union. So
yeah, exactly. And this isn't an NCAA rule. This is the NFL rule, and this is what the NFL players agreed to.
Yep.
And you got guys that are playing NFL football. They would know better than the college players. Like, hey man, like, you got to wait a few years because your body's just not ready. We even saw with Jadeveon Clowney too. They were talking about him possibly sitting out. And you could tell his last year at South Carolina, he did not put up the crazy numbers that he did before because he was very cautious about hurting himself. And lo and behold, what happened when he got to the NFL? He played a game, got hurt, he was out for the entire season. Now, basically, this year is kind of like his rookie season all over again. You talk about Marcus Lattimore. The guy was a Heisman Trophy candidate, and sure enough, blows out his knee twice. And it was ugly fashion too. I remember watching one of the games where his knee just got just bent the fuck up. And but I mean, like you said, it's only those certain circumstances where you got these freakish athletes. Their bodies just mature so much faster than everybody else does. They can withstand the beating, but I mean it's different than like comparing this to like basketball where you used to be able to come right out of high school. You're not taking the physical beating as you are in football, and that's where that's the main thing that comes into play here. Is just, can your body take that physical beating? And it's like I said, I understand where these players are coming from. They're killing themselves. They're not getting paid for it. Yeah, they're getting free college tuition, and they get all the free Nike gear they want or whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, the other guys in the NFL, they're getting paid millions of dollars. If they get hurt, I don't want to say they're set, but they don't got to worry about medical bills. You know what I'm saying? So it's a fine line, and I like having this discussion more than talking about paying players. I think this argument holds a lot more weight as far as for the players as opposed to actually paying them. So.
And the other thing I think you have to take into account is too, like, you're saying, okay, I can go directly from high school to the NFL. The game checks up 5 notches from high school to the NFL. Like,
it's at an 11.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna get a high school kid, because that's all you are, and throw him in with these dudes, and they're all 22 to 25. They're all, they've all been using all their supplements and whatnot that they can use in the pros that they can't use in college. They've all had these professional trainers whose whole life it is to make your body work right, and you're just gonna throw a high school kid in that. He's not even done growing yet. So that just doesn't make any sense to me. Everything's coming so much faster. They're hitting so much harder. Like, I shouldn't say so much harder, but they're hitting harder. You're talking about like getting hurt in the second year of college versus your first year of NFL. It's the same time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like developmentally, the average person is meant to handle that.
Oh, totally. I mean, you get hurt in college, and if your career is done, they will, they cut you like that. They take away your scholarship and everything. If you're in the NFL, you're a first-round draft pick. You get hurt, they will put in the money. They will invest in you and make sure you come back to at least, try to get their investment back. So it's a completely different ball game, literally.
Yeah, and I think that's also a little bit on the schools too. Like, I mean, you shouldn't be able to cut somebody who, like if he's playing on your team, you gave him a scholarship, or even if he walked on, how can you just how is it fair or right that you can just drop him, for no, like, he's like, oh, you got hurt, you can't help us anymore, well, see you later. Like, how is that right or good? And if you want to have that discussion with the colleges, that's something that I'm willing to entertain. But I think that the 2-year limit is really for everyone's own good. And I mean,
it's a 3-year limit.
It's 3.
Yeah. You have to be Greg. You have to be out of high school 3 years to go to the NFL.
I thought it was 2. Anyway, yeah.
No, it's 3.
3 is a bit more.
It's 3. Yeah. I mean, you could redshirt and only play 2 years.
Right.
And then go.
That's the other reason why the Fournette conversation has come up, because he's a freshman, a true freshman right now. Yeah. So he has 2 more years.
I thought he was a sophomore.
Was he a sophomore?
I'm pretty sure he's a sophomore.
All right, I'll have to look that up.
I'd entertain a discussion from to bring it down from 3 to 2. But
okay.
I think that'd be more fair to the players, and I think that's still giving them enough time to learn the speed of things, and but it's like we should be talking more about how if the healthcare is the issue, then we should be talking about these people who freaking put these poor kids, get him out on the field, get out there, boy, you run around, and then he gets hurt, and we'll see you later. Like, that's pretty effed up. I feel like that would be more of the discussion than we should let these kids into the NFL so they can get killed.
Yeah. Well, it's almost kind of like what happened with the coach of Illinois, who I don't know if he got fired or he resigned, but he was, he lied to his players, saying, like, oh, it's just a knee sprain, a couple weeks you'll be okay, when they actually, tore something, and then they get hurt, and then it's like, oh, well, sorry, see you later, just lack of total respect, and not giving, these guys the proper time to heal, and fudging the medical records. It's dirty. I mean, as much as I love college football, the NCAA, I mean, God, they make Congress look competent, man. The way they run their fucking shit, man.
What was that, Max?
They make FIFA look good.
Ooh.
That too.
Oh, that's a low blow right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NCAA is got a lot of things to think about because, yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily, because this is an NFL rule, but I definitely think they need to think about the way they treat their players and the way they make money hand over fist on these players, and they treat them like crap. Paying them is a whole different discussion. I agree with you, Mike. I have no idea what realm that should be in. I honestly think they should never have to worry about where they need to live, where they need to eat, and their school payments. I absolutely believe that.
Yeah. But
then again, let's move on.
They have like an injured reserve scholarship list.
Oh my God, that's
Sorry,
just.
man, we're gonna have to put you on the IR scholarship.
Well, let's talk about the let's talk about the actual games that will be played tomorrow. Let's talk about the on the field action. We got some really good matchups here. You got number 23 West Virginia against 15 Oklahoma. You got Alabama 13 playing against number 8 Georgia. You also got Ole Miss number 3 against your Florida Gators, Phil, that are at number 25, 2 undefeateds there. You got Mississippi State, Texas A&M, both ranked teams, and then you got the big daddy Notre Dame against Clemson. How do you guys see these games playing out?
Notre Dame's gonna win. Bama's gonna win. The Gators are gonna lose.
Appreciate it.
Wait, did you say Bama's playing Georgia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, no, Georgia's gonna win.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
West Virginia's gonna win.
Ohio State's gonna win.
Oh, of course, Ohio State's gonna win. They're just gonna look real shitty doing it.
Nice.
Unfortunately.
And Mississippi State or Texas A&M?
I say Texas A&M.
Nice.
Yeah, I
so,
agree.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a Gators fan, but I'm also a realist. There's no way we're going to beat an Ole Miss team that just beat Bama. We're trying to come back. We're looking better, but we're still shaky. We're learning, and that Ole Miss team is proven at this point. Yeah, I was going to call you out on that, Max, because I was like, Bama's going to beat Georgia. I actually think this is the year that Mark Richt finally steps up and probably actually earns. Well, we'll see. Earns his chance to actually win a national championship. Because I think with Bama going down, I think it'll be Georgia versus LSU. So I see Georgia winning tomorrow. West Virginia, Oklahoma. I'm going to lean towards Oklahoma. Just going to kind of go that way. I'm not entirely sure. I believe in West Virginia right now. Clemson, Notre Dame. I don't know enough about either of those teams to honestly to say something, but I'm just going to pick Clemson.
Notre Dame looks nasty. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going with the Irish on this game.
Yeah.
As good as Clemson recruits every year, they just don't have these superstar playmakers like they've had in the past. They don't have a C.J. Spiller. They don't have a Sammy Watkins or a Taj Boyd. From what I haven't really seen Clemson play this year, but I've read up on them, and they don't really have, besides their quarterback, they really don't have too much going on. And the thing about Notre Dame is that they've just, no matter what, when it comes to injuries, they keep plugging in guys and they keep producing. And I think that goes to their coach, Brian Kelly, who I think has done a hell of a job recruiting for Notre Dame. And it just shows the depth they have. And it is in Death Valley, but which is the Clemson home field. But so it is in Clemson, but at the same time, though, Clemson's always that team where it's like, oh yeah, we got a good team this year, but then they always end up losing 1 or 2 games. And I just think Notre Dame, just with their depth, is going to take it. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout or anything like that, but I think Notre Dame takes this one. As far as the rest of the games go, I'm going to take Oklahoma. They just got so much. They got a lot of talent on that team. They showed a lot of grit when they came back and beat Tennessee at Tennessee in overtime, double overtime, I want to say. I'm going to go with Georgia just because I do not believe in Alabama. I think I said last week that they do not have a quarterback. Alabama does not have a quarterback right now, and I think that's just going to come back and bite them in the ass. So I think Georgia's going to finish off Alabama, put the nail in the coffin for their playoff hopes. I'm going to go with Mississippi. I'm going to go with Ole Miss against the Gators too. I don't know if you know this or not, Phil, but I was seeing it on ESPN on the ticker earlier. They were saying about a dozen guys on the Florida Gators team got a virus this week, and so a lot of them like sat out practice and got sick, and they're saying that their starting quarterback may not play, or he's like game time decision.
It's all a ruse. It's all a ruse.
Yeah, right. Do not believe it. But and then I'm going to take Texas A&M against Mississippi State. Texas A&M looks pretty damn good right now. And Mississippi State, I don't know. I don't know if it's just their colors or that the fact that they're from Mississippi. I just don't see them doing anything. And Ohio State's going to win.
Nice. There you go. I'm showing off your Ohio State. But yeah, it'll definitely be a good game for a good weekend for college football. So I want to catch that Bama Georgia game, and the UF Ole Miss game. I'm not sure if I want to watch that. I mean, I can have hopes that we won't get beat down, but I don't have high hopes.
Make it competitive.
That's exactly. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's why you're gonna lose, man. That's why you're gonna lose. You gotta have blind 100% faith. Like, we are gonna win. I don't care if we have to put cheerleaders in.
We're gonna win, damn
it. Nice.
Like, yeah, but the head cheerleading squad all caught the flu too.
They got the shits.
That actually works too. That's kind of funny. But yeah, that's kind of all I got here. Anything else, Max?
Oh yeah, there is something else. Talk about my crushing Week 3 victory over Philip Ford.
Oh my God.
As far as Fantasy League of Justice, I am dominating the sports.
Yeah, no more tips for you, Max. Flippin', I told you about this.
Know what you're doing. You guys are like, I can't believe you got Steve Smith on your bench. I didn't even know what Steve Smith was doing. You know what else I'm doing? I'm winning games. Just taking it off. Just go ahead and win games.
Not only is he on your bench, but now he's officially on the Ravens bench.
Yeah, he got me two whole points this week.
Man, maybe you'll actually lose this week.
Yeah, I probably will.
Yeah. I'm 2-1 so far in the league. I really don't like my quarterback situation right now. I got Sam Bradford and Eli Manning, and they're both just looking like terrible choices.
Eli
he's all right, but I think it's going to be my skill players are going to take me to the playoffs. Hopefully, I got Le'Veon Bell, Julio Jones, Larry Fitzgerald, so hopefully those guys will carry me, make up for my shitty quarterbacks.
Yeah, Fitz has come out of nowhere this year.
How about that?
Yeah, looking like he's 5 years younger.
Yeah.
Is he still playing for the Cardinals?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's who Carson's throwing all the ball to.
They're like the last flicker of the candle, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you, like, right before the candle goes out, you know how it, like, burns real bright? Like, that's where you go to have your last little intense moment of awesomeness. Like, you know, like, freaking Kurt Warner over there, freaking
Carson Palmer right now, too.
Carson Palmer. Give me a break.
TJ2K, Chris Johnson, man. They got the old man's club over there, man.
That's
they are
kicking
kicking
ass. Go play for Arizona. You're going to win games.
And then you retire. Then you retire there in Arizona, and you just play golf the rest of your life.
There you go.
There you go. That's not a bad way to go. Yeah, I'm 0-3, and I don't know if I have any hope. I mean, I need luck to turn it around. DeMarco Murray is looking ugly. Jonathan Stewart is flopping on me. Evans might have a chance. Sanders is okay. I need Julius Thomas to come back. I need LeGarrette Blount to continue to do what he did last week, and then I need Todd Gurley to become a stud. Otherwise, I'm done.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how fantasy turns out.
Oh yeah, definitely be. We got to take Max down a notch though.
Oh, he'll come down sooner or later. Reality will set in.
Hey man, I'm not talking any shit about future games. I'm just talking about the shit that's already locked down and written down in the books.
He's talking about facts.
Yep. This is just stats now, gentlemen, and the stats show I'm on top.
Are you in first place?
Possibly.
I think
I'm 3-0.
Let me see the standings here.
I might be on points.
Oh my God, you are.
so. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you're the only undefeated team.
Yep.
That's right, bitches.
What's your team called?
Fucking lightsaber tooth tigers.
That's right. Son of a bitch.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm gonna enjoy this while it lasts. I know it's going away soon.
I like your honesty there.
Hey, I take what I can get.
Nice.
All right. Well, Phil, if you don't got anything else, Max, besides fantasy, I got one more thing to talk about real quick, and what better to end the show on hookers. So,
Yes.
This just came out today. This woman claims to be the madame or the bottom bitch, whatever you want to call her, for an escort service that was provided to the University of Louisville basketball team. So, and apparently they had a guy who was part of the Louisville basketball staff. He was the head of basketball operations, whatever the hell you want to call it. Hired this woman who brought in hookers to the the men's basketball dorm, where they would provide entertainment, adult entertainment. So you can let your imagination go wild with that. I don't think they were playing Hungry Hungry Hippos or Yahtzee or Uno. I think it was a little bit more physical.
Yeah, dude.
So this woman, though, this bottom bitch, she is actually writing a book, and it's coming out, claiming that, she got paid thousands upon thousands of dollars to provide these services from 2010 to 2014. And it'll be interesting to see the fallout from that, because, as you all know, Louisville's had a pretty damn good basketball program for a while.
And now you know why.
Yeah. Well, they have Rick Pitino, who's no saint himself, so I guess it only makes sense, like team, like coach. So.
Hey, man, like you said, you can't argue with the facts. And the facts is we've had hookers and we've had good teams this whole time. So, is it a little bit of extra relaxation? Is it the massage therapist that's getting them to the championships? I guess we'll only see. But, this is kind of like one of those victimless crimes. It's not exactly something that... okay, yeah, I guess you should be hiring hookers and, respect women and all that good stuff, and sex trafficking is bad and all that good mess. But yeah, man, in the world of college sports where, everything's going on all the time, it's just a matter of who got caught doing it. And, yeah, here's just another thing. I'd be really surprised to find out that this stuff wasn't going on in more schools.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you, Max. Well, so what I would love to know, the real story I want to know, is when did they stop paying her, and how much was she threatening that they had to pay her to not write this book?
Right? Like, who pissed this dick off?
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to bet that's the interesting story. Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, who didn't tip the whore that was covered in glitter or something like that? I mean, like, someone didn't get paid off. Someone didn't get their kickback, and now this chick's going public with it. But it fascinates me though. It's like, why do you have to hire an escort service? You know, like, can't you just, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of nice Southern belles that go to the University of Louisville that are willing to put out for these guys for free. But I mean, I guess apparently not on the reg.
What you're paying for is someone to say that they won't legally cry rape. That's what you're paying for.
You're paying them to leave.
The peace of mind that she's not ever going to come back to you and say that you raped her. That's what you're paying for.
And you pay them to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No text messages in the middle of the night. Why haven't you called me back?
Nice. Yeah, no, actually, I think what you're talking about, Mike, actually happened, but I can't remember what scandal that was, where they recruited college girls on the campus to service Tennessee. There it was. So I was like, you are correct. It has happened. They just tried a different route in at Louisville to see if that would work, and I guess it worked for a while.
I'm down. I feel like if the girl is willing and they're not forcing her, they didn't put her on drugs or anything like that, and she wants to get paid for her services, that's fine. Except, like, and it works out better for everyone because obviously for 4 years they've been doing this without a problem. But,
did they win a national title in that span? I don't know if they did or not, but I think they went to the Final Four.
10 to 14? I don't think so.
Yeah.
No,
but I think they were definitely Final Four team though in that span though. But
yeah, they're definitely a name for. I mean, for college basketball, that's definitely a team that you expect bigger things out of. And I mean, we'll see. If we can still expect those things, or if maybe that aromatherapist that you hired. It was the key.
Oh my God.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I feel bad for the players. That's what I feel bad for.
Oh my God, the aromatherapist. I don't know if we can top that one, Max. That's
yeah, man. I mean, you went from massage therapist to aromatherapist. I mean.
I'm sure that these lovely ladies provided a plethora of services for these young gentlemen.
Yeah. So, you want to solve X, you're going to have to multiply this by the...
Whatever works, man. Whatever works.
Oh, my God.
The thing
invaded Rome in...
Now the players are going to have to help each other study.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Talk about team bonding.
Oh. Oh, my.
Woo!
Yes.
Going to a dark, dark place.
Yes. We went there. Well, we're 22 now. We're young and foolish, so,
Man.
Yeah, chains and whips get involved, huh?
And the team's provided hookers, so why are we going to complain?
Exactly.
That is true. Oh, man. On the note of hookers and aromatherapy, I think we're calling it a night.
Sounds good.
All right. Good night, everyone. Definitely like us on Facebook, or not. Well, like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, as well as if you happen to be listening to us on iTunes and you've made it this far, hopefully that'd be awesome. If you could rate us, that would be great. And have a good night. And from
Stitcher.
Max, what's that?
Stitcher.
Oh yeah, Stitcher. Good call, sir. As well, if you're on Stitcher, also rate us there. And thank you all. So this is Philip, Max, you're on screen, buddy. There you go. And Mike, signing out.